precious, and we all have the opportunity of living it to the fullest. Unfortunately, so few of us know how to manage it all. How do we account for our opportunities? How do we account for our time? How do we account for our relationships, health, spirituality, homes, finances, influence, and careers? How do we account for the one life we have to live? I am so glad you asked. In this program, you will find answers to all of these questions and more. Welcome to the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore.
Happy Monday. Happy new week. What's happening, everybody? I want to welcome you back to another episode. And today, here's what we're talking about: the day of breakthrough. The day of breakthrough. Here's the good news. It's here. The day of breakthrough is here, man. You know what? If you need some motivation today, I'm going to give you some motivation. I usually don't come on to say I'm going to give you motivation. But today, if you need some motivation, I'm going to go ahead and throw that out today. Why? Because I think the Lord woke me up motivating me to work harder, to really push myself. And so I'm going to share with you just kind of how that happened and why I know that the day of breakthrough is here for you and for any person who's actually looking for it. Back in 2006, there was a song that was written by a gospel song. It was written by a guy named Norman Hutchins. It's called "A Move of God is on the Way." And I just so happened to kind of breeze. I was on YouTube on Saturday. I kind of heard it, and you never know. You never know why you hear things. You never know why you see things. You never know why sometimes you're exposed to things. And it's 4 o'clock. In the 4 o'clock hour, the song starts playing in my head. I'm sleeping. You ever been sleeping? Something woke you up, and the song is playing in my head, and it literally plays in my head. I'm almost singing in my mind. I'm singing this song, "A Move of God is on the Way," and I'm like, well, what in the world is happening? Why is this song in my head? I know I heard it on Saturday, but still, just because I hear something doesn't mean that it's going to permeate or do something. So then I remember the text, and I remember the text from Genesis. I believe it's in Genesis chapter 15, and it's the chapter when God is making covenant with Abraham. And I'm going to read I'm going to share it too. I'm going to read in chapter 15, and I'm going to start at verse 13, and I'm going to read down because there's something powerful inside of this text that we've got to get when we're talking about breakthrough. All right, let's look at this. And here's what it says. It says, "And he said unto Abram, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them." What is God saying to Abraham? He's foreshadowing what's going to happen to the children of Israel in Egypt. And he's saying right here, he says they're going to be a stranger in the land, and they will serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. They're going to be afflicted 400 years. What is it? They're going to be in slavery 400 years. He's telling Abram, yep, you're going to have kids, and then your kids are going to have kids. You're going to have this huge seeds, but they're going to be afflicted 400 years. Why is this? And also that nation whom they serve will I judge. God's going to also judge Egypt. He is foreshadowing what is going to happen. And afterward shall they come out with great substance. Think about this. When you read Exodus and you read the account of the Exodus, that's literally the breakthrough that the Israelites had. Now, why did they need such a breakthrough? Come on. They had to spend 400 years in slavery. 400 years in slavery. Verse 15, "And thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace, and thou shalt be buried in a good old age." So God's telling them, he says, look, stuff going to get crazy. You're not going to be around, but I'm just going to let you know that things going to get a little crazy. But You're going to die at old age. Your life's going to be cool, but I'm going to bring your seed out and they're going to be good as well. Today is the day of a breakthrough. Why? There's enough sign. If you was looking for a sign, it's here. If you was wondering, man, it's almost like it feels like this is the fullness of time. Like right now, we're living in one of these times where you have to really pay attention of all the interesting things happening in our world. Things are coming to a head. Things are boiling over. That means that now is the time that God's people will be delivered and God's people will start taking their territory. What happened with the children of Israel? They came out of Egypt with with great wealth when they got out of there. But then once the breakthrough happens, see guys, when we're delivered, when you break through, what's interesting about that is if we just pay attention to what happened to the children of Egypt, then you go into development. You go from breakthrough a lot of times into development. So when I think about, coming out of something, you got to come out of something to go into something. They came out of Egypt to go into the wilderness. See, many of us may not want to know or hear that. Like, what do you mean? Now they went to wilderness. Now, could it have gone faster? It could have gone faster. They could have gotten to the wilderness. They could have been good citizens. They could have just loved God and said, man, God, this is so good. They could have got to the promised land that much faster, but they didn't because they didn't realize when they came out, when they broke through, when they came out of Egypt, they had everything they needed. They had everything they needed. They had God. God was with them. God walked with them. God was there. God was there as the pillar of cloud. God would give them food. What was manna? Manna, some unknown substance that filled you up. That's a foreshadowing of Christ being the bread. That's a foreshadowing of what's to come. See, if we read our Bibles and we pay attention to the through line, there's a through line. The whole Bible is about Christ. Yes, the whole Bible, it's a through line to Christ. Are there a lot of stories? Absolutely. All the stories are foreshadowing a type of Christ. Joseph, like the whole story of Joseph is a type of Christ. I can't get into all the nuances of what that is because I'm still studying it. But at some point, I'm sure I will, do more teaching on it. Joseph is a type of Christ, right? And so when we look at breakthrough, and know that when the children of Israel came out, where'd they go immediately? They went into the wilderness. Why? Because now they went from breakthrough into a development program. A lot of times we got to break through and then start learning again, right? So say for instance, you wanted to break through in your business. You wanted to finally start it. You want to finally get it off the ground, make your first 100,000, first 200,000, whatever it is. Then you got to break through again. Like you make your first 200,000. You got to break through from 300 to 500 to 500 to a million to 2 million. You have to break. You have to continue to break through. So when I think about this song that hit my spirit, it hit my spirit this morning at 4:00 in the morning. It says, I feel a breakthrough coming your way. It's a mighty move of God, and it's going to change your day. Signs. What is the sign? Signs and wonders. Miracles to perform. God's going to bless you for just holding on. Just hold on. Change is coming. Feel it in the air, in the atmosphere. Just hold on. Change is coming. A move of God is on the way. Now I'm going to talk about this move and then I'm going to let you go. So a move of God. Guys, I want you to think about what a move of God is. And you don't want to be afraid when the move comes. The children of Israel was in the wilderness and they got to the point where it was time. God wanted to show himself. God was coming to show his people who he is. And he's like, man, I want to meet my people. And when he showed up, the people was afraid because there was thunder. There was lightning. There was loud noises and they could not handle it. Are you ready for the move of God to show up in your life? See, because this day of breakthrough, even though it's here, you don't want to miss the move. See, because they broke through, and then many people didn't make it into the promised land. Why would you break through and not make it into the promised land? Why would you break through and then not get the benefits of all the stuff you had been praying for and hoping for? Why would you do that? Why would I do that? No. Let me break through here. But now when God moves in my life, he's going to show you something. He's going to show you a gift that you have. He's going to show you an ability that you have. He's going to show you an assignment that he's given you. And you're going to say to yourself, wait, Lord, I'm too small for this. You're going to say that? No. We can't say that. As I was in the gym this morning, and I heard this song. Remember, I heard this song in my head when I woke up at 4:00. And I played the song the whole time at the gym. I don't usually play music. I actually get education when I'm in the gym. I'm usually listening to something that's teaching me something or teaching me about things that I need to know. So that's usually what I'm doing at the gym. But today I did it different. I just listened to this song, it's 7 minutes, 7-minute song over and over for an hour. And as I was listening to this song, I thought about people like you. Whoever's listening to this and watching this, I thought about you. And here's what I thought. I says, wow, if I don't show up with my breakthrough, they don't get theirs. If I don't show up every day, not just talking about getting the breakthrough, but having the breakthrough. If I don't have it, if I don't have the thing, if I don't have the success, they can't have their breakthrough, and they can't get into their deliverance. They can't get into their development. And I listened to this song over and over for an hour as I worked out. It's probably one of the best workouts I had this year, which is kind of interesting. But I said to myself, all right, Lord, I'm big enough. I'm big enough for this breakthrough that you've sent me through. Are you big enough? Are you going to allow God to show you, woman of God, man of God, who you are? Are you going to allow God to say, you know what? I'm ready for you to take this next step. Even though you feel small, you are not small. Are you ready to say to yourself, you know what? If it looks big, it must be small. Because when we think about who God created us to be, he created us to have dominion over this experience that we're in. He did not create us to rule people. He created us to have dominion over our experience here. I want you to think about your experiences today. And as you think about your experiences today, here's what you can do today. Look at your experiences, and I want you to write them down. You have to do this. Write your experience that you're in right now on a piece of paper. And then I want you to take that piece of paper and I want you to put it on the ground. And then I want you to stand on it. And then I want you to recite the text. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Substance. You will be standing on your circumstances and you will realize that I'm hoping, but you know what? Because I can hope, because I know who God is in my life. And I know who he created me to be. He's placed this in my life for me to stand on it and rule over it. Are you catching what I'm talking? God wants you to rule over your circumstances. God wants us to rule over the things that has come into our life, because he's saying, I have given you dominion over that. Now you have to take dominion. And if you don't take it, you can't have it. So today is the day of breakthrough. No more preaching the gospel of I'm hoping for a breakthrough. Your gospel now is the breakthrough is here, and I'm standing on it and I'm ruling over it today. Good morning, Sonia. Good to see you on here. God is with you. God is with you. God is totally with you. Day of breakthrough is here. Write it down, your experience or experiences, put it on a piece of paper and stand on it. And you could almost tape words on pieces of paper and tape it to the bottom of your shoes and walk on it every single day and see the power of the Lord in your life. Guys, I appreciate you for joining me for this episode of the Account for Life podcast. I'm Jay Moore, the Healthy Accountant, helping you to account for your life. God bless, and I'll see you on the next episode. Peace.
Thanks for joining us, listening friends. We are so glad you invested this time with us. Always remember, you only have one life to live, so live it to the fullest. This has been the Account for Your Life podcast with your host, the healthy accountant himself, Jay Moore. Until next time, make it a great day.